In the world of Transformers toys, particularly Studio Series, a lot of these lackluster figures end up becoming premium price on the aftermarket. If you want a Studio Series Optimus Prime, you're looking to pay quite a bit. And with Scourge, this figure is horribly flawed. I mean, look at his face. He doesn't even have a mouth. And that was the Studio Series release. I've always been curious about trying to upgrade these guys, and thanks to AliExpress for sponsoring this video, I believe that I might have found a couple replacements for these in my collection. A couple improvements, shall we say, from the company Bayway. Alrighty, let's just go ahead and get into it. I'm sure you've seen some of these before. This one, in this nice little styrofoam sarcophagus, will be the first one we discuss, mostly because I like this styrofoam sarcophagus. I think it's kind of funny. But yeah, as I'm opening this up, I did want to share that AliExpress, like I mentioned, did sponsor this video, did supply these items to me. But also, I have a link down below if you want to check that out. Alrighty, let's get this open. This is Scourge. The first one we have is Scourge from Bayway. I'm really hoping this is an improvement on the Studio Series one, because the Studio Series one, for me, leaves a lot to be desired. Alright, so what do we have here? Looks like we have some shoulder pad add-on pieces. I think that's pretty cool. Definitely appreciate that. Before we open the figure, let's see what we have in here. Oh, we have a metal chain. That's cool. Looks like we have some shoulder add-on pieces. Has like some silhouettes of some Maximal symbols, Autobot symbols. Looks like a Predacon symbol. Obviously, they can't put the real logo on there, but still very cool that we do have these add-on shoulder pieces. We do have the Transwarp key. A little bit simpler than the one that came with Optimus Primal. Still very neat. Alrighty, and here's the figure itself. And my first impression is he's got some nice heft to him. He's actually got some die-cast bits. I did not expect that. That's actually really nice. Yeah. He's got his big old arm blade, looking as cool as ever. Yeah, this is... oh my gosh. So I can tell you, it doesn't have as much paint as the official Studio Series one, it seems. It doesn't have, like, a lot of that, like, scuffing and everything that I remember the Studio Series one having. Well, I mean, I say remember. I mean, I'm literally, like, looking at it. The Studio Series one's right back here. But he does have an accurate head sculpt this time around. That's very awesome. We'll get a little bit closer on that. It looks like he has more accurate feet as well. His feet aren't as sharp and pointy. Yeah, this is definitely neat looking. How are these? Oh, nice and tight. Oh, thank goodness. His smokestacks around the back are nice and tight. Aw, geez. I can tell these little bits on the chest are metal. That's very nice. I'm not sure what else is metal quite yet. But yeah, he has this claw right here. And obviously when I opened it, it looks like he has one with a little bit more articulation. So does this one just pull off? Yep, just pulls off. We can go ahead and get this one that still has some styrofoam on it, with more joints, more jointage. And yeah, that's looking very, very cool. This might seriously end up becoming my main shelf Scourge. Like, the Studio Series one might end up in storage. I am not even joking. So I know we're going to need these shoulder pads for the alt mode, obviously. But it seems like these we can just kind of pop off on their little friction clips. We can go ahead and get these shoulder pads attached into the same spot, just to make them look a little bit more accurate in robot mode. With a little bit of off-screen finesse, yeah, that's looking incredible. That looks really, really good. I can tell you this looks better than the actual Studio Series one. Looking at these side by side, yeah. The Studio Series does have a little bit more paint, and it has like this chain detail on the thighs and everything that this one seems to be lacking. This one doesn't seem to have like the chains sculpted all over him, at least not in every spot, which is kind of odd. A little odd that they omitted that. But yeah, I can tell that there's definitely some improvement with this KO. I am missing all that scratch paint. I definitely think this guy would look a lot better with it. But you do have to consider the price of this. This thing is fairly inexpensive for what it is. Like, this is about the price of an actual deluxe. So, yeah, I think price-wise it's pretty worth it. Now, I'm guessing with this chain, it's literally just like a loose chain here. I'm going to assume that I could probably like take his chest panel right here and just like wrap it around this chest. That's my guess anyway. That's what I'm imagining this is intended for. We'd probably like, you know, feed it through and everything. Doesn't this come off? I know it came off on the official one. Yep. It just comes off. So I can go ahead and kind of thread it through this. I took some time to finesse and thread the chain through him a little bit, even having it go through his arm. And yeah, having an actual chain looks really cool for Scourge. I do believe you can still have him have his, like, sword, like his hand sword. Yeah, you can have him actually, like, hold the sword. That looks really cool. Yeah, this is nice. He does also have his cannon arms still as well, which is very appreciated. It's all black this time around, though, oddly enough, but he does still have the cannon hand if you feel necessary to, you know, give him that. Alright, it's time I talk about this head sculpt, because that's Scourge. That is Scourge. It's a great, great looking head sculpt. I love the detail of the chain work around the neck. It looks very, very nice. He's got the mask look. He actually has a mouth. I keep expecting it to move, but I'm very confident that it does not move. I don't believe the mask is removable on this guy. I say as I just rip his face off Fallen style. So yeah, we can go ahead and just put that face back on. I'm thinking that's probably what we should do there. And seeing this head next to the official Studio Series 1, it is no contest which one looks better. It is absolutely no contest whatsoever. Alright, and with that, let's go ahead and transform him, because we gotta see what the alt mode looks like, I guess. I'm not gonna transform the original one. Well, I might. Phew! Well, I'm happy I decided to transform the original Studio Series 1 for the comparison, because I needed a bit of a refresher on how to do this guy. It's been quite a while, and I'm also thinking I'm probably just gonna keep my Studio Series 1 in the truck mode, since, you know, it's probably the only real value it's going to have at this point, since I think this guy is going to look best in robot mode. Let's go ahead and get this one transformed as well. Hopefully, this time is going to be a little bit easier than the time I had with the real one. There's just a few joints and everything that I was just really struggling to, like, remember how they oriented and everything. Mostly when it came to this whole backpack section. There was a lot of joints that just kind of tripped me up on the official one. But I think this time around, it should be a little easier. I do have to say the plastic quality is pretty decent, but it doesn't feel as robust as a Hasbro figure would. It feels a little less robust than what I would expect. Dang, these smokestacks are nice and tight. Definitely better than the real one in that regard. I wonder why. Yeah, they're screwed in this time around. Yeah, Bayway wasn't playing around with the complaints of those loosey-goosey smokestacks on the real one. Alrighty, and we'll bring this around town right here, I'm pretty sure, right? Yeah, bring it around town. This is a nice transformation. It is a shame that the shoulder pads are so dependent when it comes to, like, the vehicle and everything. I do wish it would have figured something different with that. But you know what? It's okay. It's okay. Ooh, looks like we got a little bit of mold flash on that wheel there. Alright, legs should be pretty simple. Gotta rotate him at the upper thigh and tab it in just down there. I'm thinking hopefully that chain will just kind of exist where it wants and not really be an inconvenience. They did change the feet. It looks like they actually added like a little die-cast like piston part. That's actually neat. Definitely appreciate that. Alright, seems like the feet are going to fold in just like that. That little die-cast piston is going to fold right along with it. Flip the little tab. And almost done with the feet, actually. It doesn't take too long to get that done. I do like having this arm all positioned. Doesn't seem like the sword actually tabs in this time around, but it's still going to feed in down there, I'm assuming. Unfortunately, in this process, it seems like the entire chain just wanted to come off. That's okay. I am eternally grateful to myself for transforming the official one first, because I would have been so lost. I mean, I was so lost. The main thing I was lost on was the fact that this hinge actually has like a click in to fold it in a little bit more. It was so stiff on my official one, I was worried I was going to break the damn thing. So, very happy, at least on this KO, it's not super stiff. And seems like everything's going to go together a little nicer and a little smoother. Alright, pretty much just have to get these side panels down, nice and simple. And after a little bit of finessing, there we go. Here is our Bayway version of Studio Series Scourge in his truck mode. And yeah, it is a little bit more plain than the Studio Series. I will give it that. It definitely is lacking some paint. It's not lacking all of the paint, but it's definitely lacking some that I definitely wish it did have. Like some little details on the top. This guy could definitely use with either like repro labels or a little paint job, something like that. We can obviously take the cannon and like tab it on to the back, but I don't really care to do that ever. I don't know, it just kind of sits back there. But yeah, very, very nice Scourge. Definitely digging this one. It's definitely going to be my main robot mode shelf Scourge for my Rise of the Beast collection, for sure. I definitely prefer it over the Studio Series. But it does have a few things that do draw it back in comparison. This isn't a perfectly better toy. But yeah, this one's really, really cool. I definitely suggest it, especially for the price. If you missed out on official Studio Series Scourge, I wouldn't stress it that much, dude. Just get this one. I think this one's perfectly fine for a substitute. But don't forget, guys, we have a whole second figure to talk about in this video. We have an Optimus Prime. Yes, this is a Studio Series Optimus Prime substitute, also by Bayway, even though I believe it says Toy World on the front. It says TW. So, like, is it Toy World? I don't know. I have no idea what the TW stands for, but I'm pretty confident this is a Bayway Prime, and this is looking very, very cool. I decided to get the box this time around. Yeah, it does say Bayway. I decided to get the box because I've always wanted to see what one of these Bayway boxes are like. I've never gotten a Bayway box. And I am loving that artwork. It looks very fun. Star Leader. I mean, you can tell it's not branded. Star Alliance Deformation. Yeah, it's a very cute box. Definitely enjoy that. Now, this figure is very inexpensive. I believe this was like $16, something like that. Again, use my links down in the description below if you're interested in checking out something like this yourself. But this time around, I've actually already talked about a Bayway Optimus Prime. But this is the revised color version. Needless to say, they made a very pretty looking Optimus Prime. And yeah, pulling this guy out, my first impression is, oh wow. This color looks phenomenal. It actually has the flame details. It actually has metallic blue. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm going to call it right now. This is the definitive version of Studio Series Optimus Prime. The plastic actually feels really nice on this one. I actually think it feels nicer than the Scourge I just talked about. Yeah, let's go ahead and tidy him up a little bit, change out some accessories and everything, and a little bit of a closer look at what I believe is going to be my new definitive Optimus Prime Voyager class. Before I do switch outs on his stomach and his head, I do want to show he does come with an unmasked face, which is something that official Studio Series Primes have never come with. And he does also have the Dark of the Moon belly. But I'm going to switch it out with the masked face and the first couple movies belly parts, because my normal Studio Series Prime is already Dark of the Moon Optimus. Alrighty, we got those parts switched out. Let's go ahead and finish transforming the legs, because they did not do that, but that's okay. Little DIY right out of the box. Grr. But yeah, look at the paint on this Optimus. He is caked in the flames, and he actually has the gradient as well, which is very appreciated. He has the flames on the shoulders that the original one doesn't have. He has flames right there on the doors that the original doesn't have. Yeah, he looks so good, dude. This figure looks incredible. He's got a little gold detail right there. He has a little silver detail. Oh my gosh, a little bit of gold on the shoulders as well. And he also has this gorgeous silver all over. He's very shiny, very bright. This is what a Studio Series Prime should look like, especially since this version is frequently sold as a leader class. I feel like if it's a Voyager at the leader class price point, they should deck it out with paint. I think it's kind of ridiculous when they don't. Yeah, bringing in the original for some comparison, you can see the original's colors are pretty drab looking, if you ask me. They're pretty drab. They're missing the blue on the arms. It doesn't have like any silver paint whatsoever. It's missing a lot of flames down by the feet, by the doors, everything like that. It's, you know, still a good figure for sure. But even like the gold gradient looks better on the Bayway one. That looks more orange, and that's actually like gold. Yeah, when it comes to Studio Series Prime, this is definitely the one I'm going for. It actually does have some die-cast parts as well. I can tell that his feet are die-cast. Maybe something up at the chest is die-cast. I'm feeling a little bit of heft. I'm not quite sure where that is. I do feel like the plastic feels pretty nice. I wouldn't say it's 100% Hasbro's quality. It does feel a little different in comparison. Like you can hear the joints are a little creaky, but it still feels good. I'm not saying it feels bad. Still feels good, just definitely a little different. For accessories, he has various versions of the swords. You have versions that he can hold, either as like Dark of the Moon style in his hands, or versions that he can kind of wield as arm blades. I think those are very neat. If you get the deluxe version that comes with the accessories pack, which I do have an accessories pack, I did a video on that in another video of mine if you want to check that out. But if you get the accessories pack, you can give him stuff like his Ion Blaster, and that is looking very, very cool. I can tell because his hands are painted silver, it's a little stiff to get those weapons in there, but it still looks incredible once it's all done. I can't get over the metallic blue plastic. That just looks so nice, man. That is some really nice looking blue plastic. I'm quite the fan of how that turned out. And one cool thing too, with the accessories on this one, you can actually upgrade your official Prime. As you can see, he has a kind of bland looking Energon sword right there. We can go ahead and spice it up with one of these clear ones with silver paint. And yeah, that's looking a lot better if you ask me. Alright, this time around I'm not going to transform the Optimus Prime because I don't feel like the truck modes are going to be as significantly different. But I'm going to transform this Prime. Oh my gosh, I just keep looking at this. And this is definitely the best Voyager movie Prime I have in my collection. Specifically, this Bayway version. It looks so good. Alright, let's unarm him and get him transformed. Alright, transforming our Bayway Prime should be like transforming any other Studio Series Prime. Shouldn't be too difficult. It would help if I actually do it in the proper order of operations. I really appreciate the little engineering improvements, like actually having that piece fold down, because the official one actually does not do that. Just going ahead and getting the legs done first, I guess, because it's usually pretty simple with a movie Prime getting the legs all done. I do occasionally forget the order of operations on this transformation because there's a lot of stuff going on with this particular transformation. There's a lot of moving pieces, a lot of things you kind of have to move in a particular order, and yeah, it's a bit much at times. I don't know, it's a bit much. Alright, the arms are still like good old TF Prime First Edition, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of get those all lined up. Alright, this is where I'm getting confused. This is where the confusion begins. Doesn't this? Yeah, there we go. Alright, and then all this stuff like has to move in a particular order so things don't like collide with each other because annoying. Alright, progress being made. Get that head flipped in. Go ahead and start getting the arms a little bit more ready again. Alright, I went ahead and did a lot of the finessing off screen just to save us all a little bit of agony, a little bit of on-camera agony. I don't know, it's not that hard, but it's like I had the hand rotated wrong and I had to like peel it all back, and yeah, you know how Transformers are. You know how they are. I do have to say though, this is going together pretty smooth. I'm not having any issues with like parts not moving when I need them to move, things like that. Like everything is going together all nice and good. I really have no complaints for this transformation. I think Baywei has adapted this toy absolutely remarkably. And getting some final moves done right around here. And that's pretty much it. Here is our Baywei interpretation of Optimus Prime in his sweet, sweet truck mode. One little transformation tip, I found it a little easier to go ahead and kind of leave those out and then push them in once you're all done. But here we are. Here is the Baywei version of movie Optimus Prime in his truck mode, and this looks fantastic. Look at the flames in the front, the flames on the side. It's got the flames in the back. Yeah, this is looking sweet. This is looking absolutely fantastic. Has a nice weight to it because they added some die-cast parts. I think the plastic feels nice. The paint feels nice. This is definitely my Studio Series Optimus Prime now. And I really appreciate it. It can be any of the first trilogy. You know, you have that optional piece to make it either, you know, movies 1 and 2 or Dark of the Moon. And I think that's really nice. this is a fantastic Bayway release. I actually think this is probably the best and most successful Bayway release, given how much it improves a pretty scarce figure. If you're looking for a Studio Series Prime, I think this is the way to go. Alrighty guys, there we go. There's my look at the Bayway versions of Studio Series Scourge and Optimus Prime. I think these are vast improvements over the originals. There's a few little drawbacks, mostly with Scourge. There's like no drawbacks with the Optimus Prime. It is fantastic. But I got these courtesy of AliExpress. Once again, special thanks to AliExpress. Please use my link down in the description below. Alrighty guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think about these down in the comments below. Are you down with Bayway Studio Series figures? I personally am. I think they are vast improvements over the originals and more accessible. I don't know. I feel like with Studio Series, you kind of want it to go all out, and the Hasbro ones often have so many drawbacks. And with Bayway, they can go all out in many ways, especially with this Optimus. Oh my goodness. Special shout out to channel members, as always. Thank you all so much for your continued support. Have a great one, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.